This video was published by MBKP International. In this video I'm going to show you how to change a cut button on the Guillotine EC19 Pro. This would also be a good video for changing the cut button on the EC19 or the EC17 electric cutter. So all electric paper cutters. It could also work for any of these buttons as well, but for this example we're going to do the cut button. Okay, I'm going to show you back here on this cut button. There is two wires. First thing you want to do is you want to remove this this cover here, okay? And we do have a video on that if you don't know how to do it. So unplug your machine, no power to it, and remove this. And don't have any power to this when you're doing this. I actually have power to it now, but I'm going to turn it off here. You best unplug it for safety. But anyway, there's two wires on this one, and this is the one I'm going to be replacing. This is another button here. It's not a cut button, but if you had to replace it, it's the same exact thing, just two wires. Same thing with this power button, just two wires. Same thing with this button here. It's the on-off button. So, this one has 4 wires to it, and this one's the cut button. They're all very similar, so it'll be a similar process. With this 4-wire one, where there's 2 wires on each side, you may have to make sure you keep the wires in the right order. But I do know on these cut buttons, there's 2 wires. It doesn't matter which way they go back. So first thing you're going to want to do is remove the 2 wire, or actually push this white tab. You push it down and it comes out. Very simple. And then you can remove these and replace it. And I got a little setup over here to make it easier for you to see. This is just a cut button I installed on a piece of cardboard, so it's a lot easier for you to see. Okay, you just got to assume there's 2 wires here. The first thing you want to do is push down on this white tab, and this will slide right out. Okay, and it will be in the electronic compartment somewhere with the wires connected to it. Then you want to remove this button here, because if you're replacing a cut button, you don't know if it's most likely this part here, but there's a chance it could be this here, so you might as well just replace it as well. You unscrew this here, comes off, you take this off, and you pull this out the front. Okay, and as simple as that. Now put it all to the side. You don't want to get any of this mixed up with your new cut button. Just make sure you do not get them mixed up. Okay, you get your new cut button. It's going to come, it will just come like this, and you're going to want to take it apart. And on the new cut button, sometimes they'll have a rubber washer in here. And when you're pulling this off, just get rid of that rubber washer. It's not going to be good for this, and it usually causes the gap to be not large enough and it not to work right. So get rid of the rubber washer. Okay, now we're going to put the new cut button in. Once you got these 2 pieces off, you just slide this into the front hole of the machine. Very simple. And you put this, the cup. Here's the cup end, and here's the flat end. You put the cup end down, the flat end on top here, so this plastic nut can go on top of it. And you just tighten this down. First thing, actually, I forgot to show you. Sorry about that. If you look at this closely, you'll see a single groove in it. And if you rotate around that way, you'll see a double groove there. You want to do the single groove on top, because the single groove lines up with the top center of this, and that's how you know to click it on. It will just slip right in. If you go around like this, or if it's not in the right way, it's not going to slip on very easily. So the single groove straight up. And tighten it down. Pretty much tighten it down as hard as you can, finger tight. Don't use tools to tighten it down, but just as hard as you can, finger tight. Okay, and then you'll, with this inside the compartment, you'll loosen these up. There's 2 screws, 1 on each side. And again, and then you'll take the wires from the other one and you'll just attach these 2 wires. Just make sure the wires are attached good. It doesn't matter what order they go in. Once the 2 wires are attached, you just snug it down good, and then you just slip this again, the center of this with the center of that single channel, and just slips right in. You'll hear it click. And once it clicks, kind of pull back on it, make sure it doesn't come off. Once it clicks into place, you're good. And to remove it, obviously, you just push that again. Click it back in place, you should be good at that. It's a pretty simple process. That's all it takes. All you gotta remember is keep the channel on the top. Make sure you tighten that down, only finger tight. Don't use tools, but tighten it down about as hard as you can with your fingers. Sometimes if these cut buttons start to get loose, sometimes they'll be loose and people just keep using them. If they get loose, obviously all you gotta do is pull this off and tighten this nut down, and then put it back on. And that's simple enough. You don't have to necessarily replace it, but that's just if they get loose. This video is published by mbkpinternational.com.